I thought we had a good day yesterday. I thought we had a lot of spirit to us, a little chippiness to us that I always enjoy. I think we competed really hard. And I thought we played fast on both sides of the ball.
Will Heiniger said that he really focused on getting lower and being lower. How much has that improved?
Well, I think anytime you play with, good pad level, and I think Will played his football game 2 weeks ago, to this point in the season. And now that's got to translate to him playing better this week and better the next week. And, I think he's playing with a little more authority, which, you like to see out of a guy who's a senior. But I was pleased with his performance.
With those inside guys with Will and Mike, would you like to see them not just push the pocket, but maybe get past the blocker?
Well, yeah. I mean, the name of the game is the football. That's the object. The ball's the issue, and so you always want to be able to, just not your block initial protection, if you want to call it that. I don't like calling that for defensive linemen, but the ability to ragdoll off and get to the football or get to the quarterback is always a critical issue.
Is that something you want to see more out of Will and Mike?
Yeah, I mean, that's, Tim, to me, that's kind of a simple question, and that, yeah, you do, I mean, yeah, we want more pressure from him, no question about it.
When a team practices with some chippiness, what does that show you about the mentality they're playing?
Well, I think, usually, and I'm sure you've all done the same thing, when you have a little bit of edge to you, no matter what you're doing, it seems that there's a little energy there, and a little focus and a little bit of wanting to get back out there on the field or do it again.
Brady, with your running game, would it be somewhat maybe fair to think that as long as Denard is here, your running backs are never going to get exactly what you want because of what he's able to do? I don't know. I don't know about that. I think that there's enough in the system. Either it's out of the two backs or split backs, I backs, one back. I think there's enough diversity to it. I think the thing that we all know is this thing gets a little harder as you go because you're playing better football teams. Your defenses you're going to play against in the Big Ten, they're obviously well coached, and the athletes that are out there. But does it change things at all because your best runner is your quarterback? I mean, no matter really who was in that backfield.
I don't think so. Not for where we need to get to.
Can't help but notice the signs that are posted every week.
Yeah.
Beat Purdue. This week it's not beat, and whatever team. It's
right.
Michigan game week. Is there a reason behind it?
Yeah, it's important because every week it's about us. You've got an opponent to play, which makes it a great competitive thing. But at the end of the day, it's about us and how we prepare and how we practice.
Did you do those signs at San Diego State,
Mm-hmm.
Ball State?
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you get that from?
Somewhere in my mind. I mean, it's fun. It's football. We have fights on Thursday. We do a lot of stuff. We have fun.
Coach, in the past couple of weeks, it seems like there's been some hesitancy among the linebackers in making decisions and running to the play. What are some keys in improving their reads?
Well, I think, the biggest key is your focus on that key. I was a A-gap linebacker years ago. Now I'm a nose tackle. But I think the initial reaction, the recognition, play recognition, your aiming points when you're talking about going downhill. There's a lot of different things. But, and playing with the speed that you need to play with. And if, you're hesitant at all, that half a step that you're behind can cost you as a defense.
And was that something that you focused on in practice this?
Yeah, I think, in fact, we after watching all the tape last night, as a defensive staff, we played faster. We played more downhill. And, that's going to be something that constantly we got to do a good job of coaching and focusing on.
Is Ricky Barnum healthy enough to take his job back?
Well, we'll find out. It's competition, but he's healthy. I mean, you know, Lawan's healthy. I mean, they all practiced.
How confident is this group?
You know, the way they practiced yesterday, I think there was a confidence that they have. You know, Patrick, I think that part of it, you know, is one thing that you wanted to see, you know, as a coach, because, you know, and they were good on Sunday. I mean, Sunday they came out and flew around, but there was even more physicalness to how we practiced yesterday.
Morel Evans, we just haven't asked in a few weeks. Has there been any update on what he's...
No. I mean, I'll tell you what, he bust his butt out there, though, as a scout team linebacker and the scout team with the kicking game and everything else. I mean, he's been a great teammate.
Does he, now, with this, I mean, does he have a chance at getting eligible this year? And does
There's a lot of hoops to go through, and it's, you know, pretty daggone complicated, that trying to obtain a 6th year and all those things.
Is that what you guys are trying to do at this
Well,
point?
that's, you know, what we're trying to work towards.
Anybody else?
Yeah, Coach, with the running game, the running backs, do you feel like you almost have to run them a certain amount of times just to get them going, just like kind of after you get Denard going in the passing game?
You know, I think, Tim, you do have to get a number of carries, you know, and we've talked about that, you know, as a staff, you know, that, you know, the carries are important, you know, and that probably sounds really dumb, but it's important to, you know, get a number of carries that you can get with them, you know, and that's one thing I think we all felt that, you know, maybe we should have had a little more touches for them 2 weeks ago.
Is there a number that you guys try to hit every week? Or?
Well, you know, at the end of the day, you want to win the football game. So whatever you can do or whatever you're going to do, that's going to help you offensively put yourself in a position to win, is always going to, you know, take over at some point. But in saying that, you know, love to have between the two of them maybe 25, you know, to 20, 25 touches a game, you know, that you would like to. Now, every situation changes. You know, you get down, you know, you think you can exploit something else maybe, and you don't execute it as well as you should have. And, you know, those things happen in the course of the game plan. And I think the one thing, and we talked about this, we all did, you guys, I thought Al and Greg both have done a great job of adjusting game plans in the course of games, you know, and they're both really good football coaches. So, you know, I don't know if I answered your question. I think I did, but, you know, I just think we'd like to run them, but we've got to be able to run them.
The two, is that Fitz and Vince at this point? Is
Probably.
that Shaw? Is that...
Michael can be in there too. I mean, you know, and I think, you know, you see who gets a little bit of the hot hand to some degree. You know, Vince is very multiple in what he can do. Not saying Fitz won't be, but, you know, Fitz, you know, he's a young guy still.
Is Rawls one of those guys you identified during the bye that possibly would get more?
He could, Angelique. You know, we're trying to get him some work on some of the kick game and all that, but he could, you
What
know.
about Hayes, I mean, at this point, do you think redshirted?
Oh yeah.
Is there anyone else who hasn't played yet that you think could play, barring injury, of course?
Barring injury, I don't think so. I think what we've done so far, we're at our limit.
Coach, you talked about perimeter defense. I guess how do you guys watching the film? How do you think Purdue's going to attack the Michigan State?
Well, I would attack our perimeter, you know, and the stretch play they run and all those things are kind of ready-made for it. And
similar to what Michigan State did.
Similar, not quite the same, but I mean they'll TGO, pull it, or do some different things depending on tight ends on the line, in location or off, you know, not in location, and you know, it depends if it's weak backs, strong backs. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can get to it, but you know, I think that's where, you know, they throw the bubble, they throw the rockets, they run the outside zone. I mean, the stretch play. So I think, yeah. I mean, that's where I would start.
It sounds like, yeah, you talked about the linebackers a little bit, but how are you guys doing containing?
Well, I think, it's obviously been something that we've really, I think, done a very good job of emphasizing, and our attacking the blocks, getting off blockers, all those things that go along with it, our inside-out pursuit, all those things.
Purdue played Caleb Turbush pretty much the whole game last week at quarterback. What have you seen from him in this game?
Well, I think he's been very active in a lot of different areas, but I think he's been accurate. I think he's got a good arm, throws the ball well. He's taking care of the ball pretty well for him. You don't see him panic when he does. He's elusive enough to get out of some problems. I think they're gonna look what you're doing a little bit defensively, and they're gonna check. And he's done a good job getting them in and out of plays. I think he's a pretty daggone good quarterback.